Welcome to this week's episode of the CC Mouse Podcast. I'm Dan, and you can find me everywhere at Arfistan.
And I'm Jess, and you can find me everywhere at Snow Dogs Vlogs.
I am coming to you from Quake City, or Quake Central, if you will. It's been
I'm surprised your voice isn't quaking.
Oh my gosh. It's been a crazy week. It really has been, starting with 4th of July, with all the crazy fireworks we have out here. I have a question for you real quick. Fireworks are legal where you're at, correct?
Yes.
All the fireworks, like the Roman candles and the poppers and the twirly things and the ones that look like the grand finale that go up and they explode all in the air. Those are good to go there, right?
Those are called mortars, and yes.
Okay, so you have these mortars, and you hear this very illegal. You cannot have fireworks here at all, and it does not stop anybody. But what do you guys do there on 4th of July with, like, the pets? Because everybody's setting off fireworks, or because you can do it, not everybody's setting them off? Like, what's it like there on 4th of July?
So they actually legalized ground-to-air fireworks 2 or 3, it may even have been longer ago than that, a couple years ago. We didn't used to be able to shoot off mortars and Roman candles. Anything that left the ground was illegal in Michigan. Not that it stopped anybody, because it was legal in Ohio and Indiana, so people would just drive down to Ohio and Indiana, buy boxes of fireworks, and drive back up to Michigan to shoot them off. Or they drive to the Indian reservations and buy them. But yeah, they're perfectly legal here. And even though they're legal, I think more people shoot them off now, because now we have like the yellow box fireworks, which is like a carrier crate from the back of a semi truck that they drop at a store, and it's just a big metal crate, but it's full of fireworks. So they drop these at these stores, and they have this limited, like, 2 weeks you can buy fireworks.
How much for the crate, sir? Just the whole crate.
Right.
But there's no concern for pets, because my cats are having a meltdown. Here they're illegal. Fires happen everywhere because everything's dead out here. And there must have been double to triple the fireworks ground to air than there was any other year that I've ever lived here. And my cats were not having it.
Yeah, there are a lot of people here that, especially on Facebook, because, everybody likes to get on Facebook and complain, that get on Facebook and they make the posts about, oh, you shouldn't shoot off fireworks because my dog's scared, or my kid's scared, or this person's scared. And people, everybody up here does it anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know what you can do for cats, but like for dogs, I had a friend of mine who has a Cocker Spaniel, and her Cocker Spaniel was like deathly afraid of fireworks in the past couple of years. It's been horrible for her. She just, sits in a small room with the dog, turns on the TV, turns on the radio, and tries to play as much other loud stuff as possible so you can't hear the fireworks. This year, she tried this CBD peanut butter for dogs.
Oh, yeah, that's very common.
It worked. It worked for the first time in 5 years. She said she had a 4th of July with her dog where her dog was still concerned, but was not.
It just had the munchies. It's like, wow, man, this popping stuff makes me want some kibble.
Yeah. My dogs don't care. So when my dogs were puppies, every single one of them, I took them to the fireworks. Not like right underneath them. We're probably a mile and a half away from them, but you can see them over the lake from where we're at. And I would take the dogs with me. We did the same thing with Kira. We took Kira down there. I had a pocket full of treats. And I don't know how you would do that with a cat, but like with Kira, I just took her down there, pocket full of treats. Fireworks started going off. She was concerned, but then I started giving her treats, and I was just like, one after another, and all of a sudden she was like, I don't really care what's going on, you're feeding me, this is the greatest moment of my life ever. And then we walked a little bit closer to the lake so we could get a better view, and there was 3 little kids and their family sitting there, and the kids, of course, it's a puppy, so they're, oh, it's a puppy, and I'm like, there's fireworks behind you, kids, like, forget the puppy. But they started playing with the puppy, and Jamie leans over and he goes, just let him play with her because she's not going to pay attention to the fireworks. I'm like, you know what? You're right.
That's true. What about the other 2?
No, the other 2 were at home.
Oh, gotcha.
They slept through the whole thing. The whole thing. Our neighbors do fireworks. My dogs do not care. We turn the radio on just a little bit, and we check the camera. They sleep through the whole thing. But Kira played with the kids. We shot off They shot off fireworks, and then we have an eye doctor in town that does a really good show off of his dock. And we were a lot closer to that. We were probably like a tennis court away from where this guy shoots off his fireworks.
Oh, yeah.
So
Hold on. The optometrist in your town is the one responsible for the crazy fireworks show?
He's the after show.
That's even better. So when they go up in the air, are they like in the shape of like contact lenses and stuff like that?
No, no. That would be funny though.
That's
Last year though,
crazy.
somebody did get hurt and had to go to the eye doctor from his
See,
house.
and he took care of him, right? It's a,
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
see
He's
the
the eye
angle
doctor.
now. I see the angle now. Falling things from the sky. Hopefully, eyes are looking at the sky. Singe the eyes. Profit.
Exactly.
That's cool. So he makes these big firework shows.
Yeah, and he spends a ton of money. So the city puts on a show that lasts probably 15 to 20 minutes.
Is it decent?
And then Dr. Courier's show goes on and it lasts probably 15 to 20 minutes.
That's expensive. Like, fireworks are expensive.
Oh yeah, but he's got and he does it every year and his whole family comes to his house and I think it's just another way for him to give back to the community. So like the city show ends and then Dr. Courier's fireworks go off. So
That's awesome.
we probably were a tennis court away from where he was shooting off fireworks. So when those started going off, they were loud and it was bright. And Kira, for that, was like, what is going on? And I just started giving her treats. About a minute into it, she just sat down and then she started watching. She was watching everything go up in the sky.
Oh, that's
and
right,
like,
because she looks up, right?
yeah, she looks up. She's
That's
really
important.
good at looking
That's
up.
important, everybody at home. She's the dog that looks up.
Yep. Yeah, she looks at everything above her. My other dogs don't do that like she does. She wants to know what's above her. She follows birds into the trees and then stays staring up. Were you with us when she was looking at the helicopter?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So she likes to look up.
She also wanted the birds on the line that were way up high.
She almost caught a butterfly this morning.
Did you see the footage? Because every year since bootleg fireworks went off, remember that? Oh man, it's them GD bootleg fireworks, and like the dude's got the camera and the bushes are on fire, and because all the fireworks fell over in the middle of the street and it was setting off the car alarms on the the womp womp cars that bump up and down. So every year on Black Friday, also I try to look for the crazy videos, and there was one this year. I don't know if you had seen it from the Walmart, where somebody set the fireworks off at the Walmart and they were just going off in the aisle at the Walmart and everybody was running and the aisle was starting to catch on fire and all the fireworks were going off there. It was great. The Walmart employees had their vests on and they were looking and then everybody started running.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Oh, you're going to have to look up that video. Everybody at home, look up the Walmart firework video because the fireworks were going off inside the Walmart. I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. So out here we had the fireworks and stuff. So the kitten was so crazy that she did not want to deal with the fireworks anymore, that somehow or another she shoved her way behind our dishwasher. So so there's a little gap between the dishwasher. I mean, a little gap, just barely a finger's worth. And somehow she liquefied herself and went behind the dishwasher. And at like midnight, 1 in the morning, I think. Yeah, about 1:30, Crystal said, in the morning, we had to take out the dishwasher and pull it out so she could come out from behind the dishwasher. Yes. Yeah, it was super heightened cat like alarm that day. So I'm not giving them any CBD oils. Like if anybody's getting CBD oils, it's me first. But they need something because okay, so that morning I was sitting on my couch enjoying my day off. It was like 10 in the morning. And I live in a trailer. We'll call it a trailer. Right away, you guys envision wheels and a hitch. No. It's a manufactured home, it's called. But it's a double-wide trailer. And it sits on earthquake braces. And so the first few years I lived here, because Crystal lived here before I did. The first few years I lived here, anytime anything was in the dryer and it did that spin cycle, I would be clutching the bed for dear life. Like, oh, what's going on? Because the whole house shakes. The whole house shakes. So I'm sitting on the couch. I've been living in this house for 14 years, and I feel a different shake. It's not just like a round shake, it's a vibrating back and forth shake. And I'm like, hey, Crystal, look, there's an earthquake. And then we sit there for a second, because we're from California, we know what's up. And then I sit there a little longer, and we're like, oh, dang, like, this is like a for reals earthquake. So then you have enough time to get up off the couch and make a move. You can go to the doorway, or you could go outside. I am a big fan of outside. People say don't go outside, but I am not afraid about what's going to fall on me outside, which is really nothing. I don't want to be inside this graham cracker house at all. I don't. The swaying is way more magnified to me because I'm pretty much on a block of Jell-O. We have earthquake braces. So what I feel is exaggerated. So we had this big exaggerated earthquake, and we're like, what's going on? The cats were running. Blake said he was playing with the cat, And about 3 seconds or so before the earthquake started shaking, the cat booked it. Like, poof, and then there was an earthquake. So we had a pretty decent earthquake. It was about 80 miles north of us in Ridgecrest, and it was a 6.7, was it?
6.4 was the first one.
It was a 6.4. So,
wow.
yeah. So it was a 6.4. So we're like, whoa, that's significant. So then we immediately turn on the news, and aftershocks are happening, and you can hear the house creaking, like the house makes creaky noises and stuff. So aftershocks are happening, just little wiggles here and there, just a poke, just hey, you know.
Which don't bother us at all. Like
Yeah.
the little ones, whatever, it moved a bit.
Right, yeah, but they're still reminding us that we're just ants on a planet. So I go to the television, I put on the news, the geologist lady who's so excited. If you guys watch my Instagram stories, she was so excited about the earthquake because that's her job. So they explained to us what's going on. There's a couple different earthquakes for those of you guys that are back east, that most of you guys are that listen. You guys don't have earthquakes back there, but there's a few different kinds. There's a shaking, vibrating earthquake. And there's a rolling action where it almost is like a waterbed where it just rolls smoothly, right? So if it's a rolling action, that means it's super far away because this lady taught us that. If it's like a really vibrating action, that means it's close by and we're in some trouble. So it was super rolling. And the earthquake only lasts a second or two, but the rolling that comes out of it, like shock waves, gave us maybe a 15 or 20 second earthquake here. Was that about right?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, probably about
For the
15,
first one, yeah.
20 seconds. So this was on 4th of July morning. So the cats were like, what's going on? We're like, what's going on? And it's aftershocks all day long. It's news coverage of footage rolling in of the liquor store and all the bottles in the liquor store are on the ground and stuff like that. You know, crazy, regular California stuff. I went through this in 1994 when I was like 15 or so, when we had the Northridge earthquake. That was crazy. The staircase was swaying. I looked outside. The light poles were going up and down. It was insane. Our freeway fell down and people drove off of it. They still drove. They were like, oh, look, the freeway fell down. Let's see where this leads us.
I don't think they were trying to jump it. I
don't
think
know.
they had momentum.
I don't know, but the freeway fell down. It was crazy. But this was in 94. So people have not had earthquakes since then out here. So anybody that's in their early 20s and stuff, this is their first real
Pretty much up
earthquake.
to their 30s.
Up to your 30s. Yeah, this is your first real earthquake. So it was significant, but I knew what was up. Like, I knew it was up. It's a little adrenaline-y. I think I remember I sending you a lot of woos. Woo! Adrenaline! Yeah. Like, it's adrenaline. There's this, yeah, so I'll get to that more in a second. So we're like, whatever.
I got the message from you that said, just had a big earthquake. We're okay. And I'm like, what?
Yes. Before you hear about it from everybody else, we're good to go. Like, we're good out here. Unless we fall, like, unless it's the big one, we're going to always be okay out here. Like, we're pretty earthquake safe out here. Even our shitty little home is sitting on earthquake braces. You know what I mean? So we're pretty good.
Out here.
Yeah. The things that happen for injury is when glass breaks or you have your fight or flight instinct kicks in. And then you start running around, or, you know, some of the footage I saw, it was shaking and the power was going out closer to where it happened. So that's a little bit more difficult. But we're good to go here. We're good here. So I was just like, we're good. Like, don't worry about it before our lines go down and all that stuff, you know. So
right.
That's fine. So the cats were already on edge. Then all the fireworks were going off, and they were freaking out. They were hiding behind dishwashers. They were trying to, like, I don't know what Mooch was doing, but they were. Oh, I know.
Panicking.
Their ears like move, like whoop, 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 like that radar thing that their ears do. Yeah, the kittens, you know, the cat's ears were radaring and stuff. So that's fine. That was the end of 4th of July. Did you? Well, let's talk about that for a second. You had a good 4th of July? You went out and did fireworks and stuff?
Yeah. We ended up.
You watched fireworks.
Yeah, we went down to the lake and watched the fireworks, and everybody, a lot of the time, the whole family goes together, but the baby's still kind of little, and my mom and dad didn't want to come back into town for the traffic, so Jamie and I just went down there by ourselves with Kira to watch the fireworks.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, we went out to the lake before that and took all the dogs swimming out to my aunt's. We had a big barbecue, so the whole family was together for a barbecue, but then at the fireworks, we all kind of just did our own thing. I think next year we're just going to buy a bunch and blow them up at the farm.
That'd be fun. That would be totally fun. If you do that, you'll have to make videos of that for sure.
We've done that before where we've bought a bunch of fireworks and then shot them off ourselves, and it's always fun. It's just less chaotic because you're not with all those people, and then you don't have to try to get back from town. And yeah, we might do that next year.
Yeah, that would be cool. Here they're so illegal that just like everybody's on edge, and it's neat. Like I went outside and I was able to watch a fireworks show from the next street over. And man, I just don't know why this year more than any, there was just so many fireworks. But that toppled with the earthquake, like it really put a pause on our 4th of July. All we were doing is watching news coverage, and we were waiting for the next update, and we could feel the aftershocks all day long. So that was 4th of July. So the next morning I get up and I go to my jobby job, and I go to work, and then I come home and I sit down on the couch. Where was I? Where were we sitting?
You were standing behind the couch, and I was sitting on the couch because at first we felt 2 jolts. And I thought it was Dan, like, bumping into the couch with his leg at first. And then I looked, and the glass on the table was, like, the liquid in it was shaking.
Yeah, it was substantial jolts.
It was 2 good jolts that literally felt like you hit the couch with your knee standing behind
these
it.
jolts only happen when big accidents happen on the main street out there that shake our house. So we're like, ooh, more earthquake. And then it started going.
And the rolling started,
And going. And, like, maybe would seem like an hour, but probably 10 seconds into it. It's that thing where it's like, dude, we're cool. Like, sit down on the couch. And then your body makes yourself get up and walk. And we're like, let's go outside.
My body didn't make me. Dan made me.
I'm like, let's go outside. And it feels like all of a sudden you're instantly drunk. You lose all of your equilibrium. And you're holding on to things. It's so, and the earth is really barely moving.
But it's enough to throw off your equilibrium where you feel like it's like you're on a boat.
You're on a boat. Instantly you're on a boat and you're holding on and you're like almost seasick. And I don't know if I get seasick or not because I've never tried that. But it's almost like you're seasick. So I'm like, let's go outside because it's like, we're having a regular conversation. We're like, dude, it's not stopping. And all I can think about, because it's really wavy, so we know we're okay. It's really wavy.
Right.
I'm going, oh my gosh, wherever this is coming from, there's so much trouble right now because it kept going. So we made our way. We're walking. We're briskly walking, like white people do.
I was moseying.
All the way out the door. We shut the door. We walked down the porch and out into the street area right there. And the neighbors are starting to come outside as well. And it is still rolling. Oh my gosh, it's still rolling. And I'm having conversations with neighbors I've never talked to before, and it is still rolling.
Yeah, that one went on
45 seconds.
I would say at least 30 to 45 seconds.
Right, and it's a longer where we're going to be because the waves stretch out longer, so we're going to get more of it. But oh my gosh, I kept thinking, like, wherever this is coming from is in trouble. I knew it was going to be Ridgecrest because that's where it came from the first time. Holy cow, your adrenaline's rushing, your heart's racing, you're holding on to things. So the earthquake finally stops. But you're drunk now. You're just like, whoa, what is this?
You have to get your land legs back.
You have to get your land legs back. So I go inside, I take my Gatorade bottle, turn it sideways, and stick it by the TV so we can watch. And then it's just more aftershocks and more things. And you can fake an aftershock. I'm still wobbly. I'm like, can you feel that? Well, of course you can feel it. We're both wobbly. So I can't tell what's an aftershock or not. And then the TV comes back on. The news is there. And the geologist lady is all super stoked. And like, look at this. And she's like, here comes one. Because she's showing the monitor behind her. And it's showing this big red ring coming out. And we're like, oh, here comes another aftershock. And
we felt a good half dozen within that hour afterwards, because anything 4.0 or higher we're feeling here.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's
And
crazy.
that big one was a 7.1, and they felt it, I heard, from Santa Barbara all the way out to Vegas, down into Mexico.
Yeah, it really travels. So this wasn't the San Andreas fault. I live 10 minutes from the San Andreas fault.
Really close, yeah. Maybe a little longer than that.
And they're
but
talking
yeah.
about how that one's going to be 8 times larger than what we felt. This was a different fault that was north, that allegedly, even though the waves went through me, through the fault, all the way down to LA, because you pass the fault line when you drive down to LA, it's supposedly not affecting the San Andreas faults, which I don't know if I buy that. But so yeah, so that it was so crazy. It was just like all wobbly all night long, like 2:00 in the morning.
It was 1:30 in the
Was it
morning
1:30?
on the 5th of July.
I was
Yeah,
half
it was shaking.
asleep, and then I was like, ugh, you kind of wake up a little bit from your sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're just like, what's going on? And then you're like, okay,
You always have to think, like, is it going to stop or do I need to get out of bed?
Yes. And then that heart
That's
race is
crazy.
fast. That you have, yeah. And I always wanted you, every time you come out here, I always pray for an earthquake. We talk about that, like, please let there be an earthquake. You don't want this. That was too long. That's like going to Magic Mountain and riding a roller coaster if nobody's there, and by the 7th time in a row you ride it, you're like, dude, that's too much. It was too much earthquake. It went on for like a full minute to the point where I was going like, wow, is this our new life now? Is it ever gonna stop? It was that crazy, and it is so neat to look out into the street and see the earth just move. Houses are dancing.
That's so crazy.
Oh, it was so crazy. All the footage that came in, though, people's houses were catching on fire in Ridgecrest. Ridgecrest is a relatively small town, and it's not good that it happened there, but there's a lot of absence of land. China Lake's out there, and that's like one of the test facilities. So there's a big gap in like homes and stuff. It's not like it's not dense population like LA.
Right.
Dude, Jess, you don't have no idea what it's like. Stuff was full. Things fell off our shelves a little bit. All the dunnies fell off over there.
Yeah.
When I got to work, all the drawers were open at work. Like, all the tool drawers were open and stuff like that. But, yeah, it was shaking. And it's even worse in our house because, like I said, we're on earthquake braces, so a 3 is a 5. You know what I mean?
That's so weird. Yeah, see, Michigan doesn't have anything like that.
You have your ice creaking. What's that called?
Ice quakes.
Ice quakes. But you don't feel an ice quake, you hear them.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't shift the ground like an earthquake does. It's more of like a rumble that you hear and a pop that you hear. But you don't feel anything. They're not big enough to make the ground actually move.
Yeah. So when we had the big Northridge earthquake, I was like 15 or so, and it was the earthquake, and then it was done. That was it. We're done. Now that I'm a grown adult, I'm 40. This is my next big earthquake. It is insane how just 2 or 3 seconds of the ground moving, you're done. You're just, if anybody that's like an elderly person or anything, they're to the ground. Like, it was so testing your equilibrium. It was crazy. And right away, even after it stopped right away, you're like freaking seasick. Like, what's going on? It was only a few seconds, but you're done. You're done. Some of the reports on the news, the dudes like the power went out and then it was shaking so bad, I was to the floor. And I get it. And then that's when you get in trouble.
Yeah.
That's when you get in trouble. Yeah.
So is that what they tell you? When I was like watching some of the news and reading some of the stuff, basically they tell you guys to like get underneath something.
Yeah, like get under a desk or a table in case things fall on your head.
Exactly. So here's how it works in California. When I was in 3rd grade, there was this van that came to all of our schools called Shaky Quakey. Did you have Shaky Quakey?
Yes.
So Shaky Quakey was this kind of school bus with
a simulated
earthquake. So it was a simulated classroom. So your class would go in, and we'd all sit at a desk like we're in a class. A television would be on the screen. It wasn't flat screens yet, so we had like a CRT there. Yogi Bear would be on there, and there would be a classroom set up. On the right hand side, there was a bunch of stuffed animals on a shelf with a earthquake wire on it. On the left side, there was the same stuffed animals with no earthquake wire. We had those desks like you saw in the Wonder Years, where they're all one piece.
Right.
And it would simulate a 4.0 earthquake. And we would have to duck and cover. We would get under our desk. Stuff would fall on the wall off the walls on the left side. On the right side, they would not. And they would show you earthquake safety at an early age. This is what we're learning at. I'm 9 and 10,
right.
and I'm on the Shaky Quakey bus. So we learn earthquake safety early.
Yeah, we know the position to get into. You get on your hands and knees. You drop your head down. You put both of your hands over the back of your neck.
Yeah. It's the same routine now for school shootings. And it was that way for earthquakes back in the day. You would go underneath your desk. You're good. So
for nuclear attacks.
Right. Yes. I played Fallout. It's like duck with your head, your arms behind your head.
Hey, I watched The Simpsons. The nuclear fallout just goes over you.
Yeah, it just goes right over you.
Yeah, that's South Park.
Simpsons did it first.
And yeah, wasn't it for the volcano and the lava just went over them?
Yeah.
So they teach you, and they also teach you to stand in the doorway. So now that I'm an adult, that's not quite accurate. You can't stand in a doorway unless it's a load-bearing doorway. So like we have this big huge beam going through the house. That's where to stand, on the load-bearing doorway.
Yeah, but see, I don't even want to stand under that because that's the big beam. So if the whole house falls down, that big beam's going to fall on me.
Here's what they tell us though.
Yeah.
Do not go outside. You know where I want to be? I want to be outside.
But I think the concern is like brick houses and chimneys and stuff falling on you.
I'm going into the middle of the street. Let every light pole fall my way. You have a very small chance of getting hit by something you can get out of the way of. I am not staying in there to be pillaged.
It does seem to like make more sense to me to get out of a building that could collapse around you.
That's your instinct, and that's what I'm saying.
The concern, though, is like the injuries we were seeing were the people that were panicking and running and going downstairs, and the stairs were moving, and then they broke their ankles.
And honestly, none of the people that we visually saw that had injuries from the news reports were under the age of like 50. They weren't in the greatest of shape. It wasn't like a fit person was like, oh my gosh.
It was younger, like teenagers and older people.
And older people that just panicked and just ran. Your mom would be toasted.
Yeah.
Your mom just runs
my
for
mom-
a straight line.
That second earthquake went on so long, my mom freaked out and
That's
called
right.
me
She
during
called
it,
us
and
during
we
the
talked
earthquake.
through the rest of
Yes,
it.
that's how long the earthquake was. It was out of control. So my flight instinct after like 10 seconds of earthquake, like we're from California, we're rad, dude. Look at us go. We're surfing the wave.
Yeah, you're riding it
All
like
of a
you're
sudden,
surfing.
your body's shoving outside, like, dude, let's go now. We're done. Bye, cats. I shut the door, left the cats in there. The cats were my last flash of seeing tails on the back of the couch here. He didn't seem too concerned.
No, I think they were fine with that second one.
So we got that roll, just like that waterbed roll. So we can kind of smile about it. Yay, we lived through an earthquake. But up north more, where they got the violent shaking, that's when windows were blowing out and stuff like that. So it definitely was the real deal. And this is just a reminder that we will fall into the ocean.
No, we will absolutely not fall into the ocean. The San Andreas Fault runs north and south, and the land will move north and south. We will not fall into the ocean.
Crystal hates that like old tale.
Yes, we're not breaking off into the
We're not
ocean. It's
gonna
not a thing.
Break off into the ocean. So yeah, so
to
that
go to Hawaii.
yeah, we're not going to Hawaii. I can see it breaking off, and they're like, Yahoo!
Yeah, you're not going to become an island and have oceanfront property. That's not how this works, and it irritates the heck out of me when people say that.
That's exactly what everybody talked about growing up, though, is how we were going to fall in the ocean, and then
because
Lancaster was going to be the
educates
beachfront
themselves
property.
to know what a fault line is, how it runs, and how it works.
Just like if you
Right.
dig, like when
Read
people
a
are like,
book.
"What are you doing? Digging the China?" No, you're not going to go to China. You're going to go to where?
Madagascar
You're
is on
gonna
the
go to-
opposite of where we are.
You're going to go to Madagascar. So I will say, after
Here
being
you would-
what's that?
Here you can't dig to China. You'll dig to the lake.
The lake.
You dig down deep enough here, and the water's gonna fill up.
You'll just drown.
You wouldn't get to the other side of the earth to just flood yourself.
You'll just drown.
In our yard, you will never make it. If you dig down far enough, you literally will hit the water table, and it will fill up a hole.
So, as you know, someone that's from here, we're not really per se afraid of earthquakes. Like, we're able to make the decision. Like, hey, here's where safety is. Start going there. We're good on that.
Hold up, you are definitely afraid.
Oh no!
You've
We're,
been afraid this whole week.
I am scared. As a human being, I am scared. But as a Californian, we know that you can either stay here and die, or you can go to do a thing and try to like be okay. Like we went outside this last time, so we're
It's
always going to
definitely-
be okay.
It's not as scary as like a tornado. When you see the videos of people and they can hear the tornado and they're like hunkered down in their
Right.
basement and the anticipation of it coming. Here, especially being in a mobile home on the earthquake braces, by the time you realize it's actually an earthquake, it's half over. And then
Yeah.
you're like, wait,
Right.
is that an earthquake? Are you moving? Are you shaking? What is that? Oh, yeah, I guess it's an earthquake.
That's why I choose earthquakes over everything. I would rather punch you in the face than tell you I'm about to punch you in the face in 3 to 5 minutes, maybe. Like, no,
Right.
just get it over with. And that's with the earthquakes. You can't predict it. You can't get ready for it. Boom, it's done. It's over with. You're in, you're out. You already got the shot in your arm. You're good to go. So I would never trade earthquakes for anything.
No, absolutely not.
And we're safe here, guys. There's nothing but the mall. The mall's not even 2 stories. There's nothing in our house.
Dillard's is.
Is Dillard's 2 stories?
And the courthouse
There's
is
nothing.
3 stories.
Yeah, I'm not going to the courthouse. I'm not going to Dillard's to shop. There's nothing in our town that's more than 1 story. So don't worry about us, everybody. Like, we'll be okay. We can get out of wherever we're at, whether it's at work or here, or we're in trouble at Vidcon next week, though, Jess. How do you feel about the possibilities? Because this is not over. This is not over. We get more coming. How do you feel about the possibilities of truly being able to feel an earthquake next week?
I think I already told you I'm the crazy person that wants to do it at least once.
No, what does Jamie say?
He's a little more cautious about it than I am. I mean,
I would love to see your guys' reactions just because we are so chill of like, oh, hey, it's an earthquake. And I don't know how you guys would react to that.
I can't wait.
I would just get excited.
Right?
Like, even when we're in storms and we see, like there's a chance of a tornado coming, I'm always outside like,
Where is
I
it?
want to see the funnel cloud. I want to see it. I want it for some reason. I don't know why. That's what my brain goes to. I'm like, I want to see it. When we get ice storms and stuff here, we go drive in it. I want to see it.
Right.
I don't know why. I don't know why.
Let me give you some earthquake advice. If we're at the Airbnb, just grab onto the nearest fixture next to you and just like visually look at everything. Try to look outside. Try to look at everything to see how cool it is to watch things go up and down without being on drugs. If we're inside VidCon, grab my hand, start running towards the door, and I'll do the girl screaming. Because if we're inside that building, we're in some trouble, right? Otherwise, that's it. Otherwise, just enjoy it. The pool slosh. This time, what's that?
don't they have to make most of the buildings earthquake
We're
proof now?
pretty
There's
dang good.
there's a
We're pretty
lot of
good.
regulations for how things have to be built.
The big one, not
And
so much,
The
but
convention center, most of it's new now anyway.
Right.
but still, we
not
don't know what
worried
Earth
about
can do. Earth can win still.
I mean, we kind of do. Well, like when we were on that trip and we went and stood outside of Mount St. Helen, like I got out of the car even though it was raining, and I went up to the overlook and I'm standing there staring at this volcano that 40 years ago literally blew its top and the whole volcano fell into the valley. And you
Yes.
have that moment of 40 years ago, this thing exploded. There was a valley here and it's gone. Like
Right.
there were trees and it decimated everything. And you kind of have that moment of, wow.
It's gonna happen again, and we're all gonna be gonna
Yeah,
be
and
out
then
of luck.
when we were in Washington, you could look out the window and you could see Mount Rainier, which is a volcano.
Right.
And I'm like, there's a volcano. It's right there. There's a volcano. I mean, Yellowstone wasn't that far away. The caldera there, that's a super volcano. They're
Right.
right there.
Yeah.
The Earth is interesting.
I'm just gonna screw with you the whole time. Like, whoa, feel that? What's that? I'm gonna do it to die in Regan for sure. Like, that's what I'm gonna do. Because they're coming in from Washington. Do they get earthquakes there? A little bit, not too bad.
I don't think as
Yeah.
much.
Where did you guys meet up with Die?
In Washington.
Okay, Washington. Okay, yeah. So I don't think they're not like immune to it, but they don't get it like we get.
I don't think the Ring of Fire goes quite that far
No.
north.
But that's it. I'm making joke all the time. We're gonna be at VidCon. I'm just gonna grab something and just look concerned. Like, I won't even say anything. I'll just start looking concerned because that's what really happens. You just kind of grab it and go like, before I announce it to anybody, is this the dryer?
I like how you're talking about this like a thing you're going to do at VidCon, like you haven't been doing that all week at home.
Oh yeah, but I thought they were good. I have my earthquake machine right here, which is my sideways Gatorade bottle.
Yeah, but
And
I'm
so
standing
far,
next to it, so anytime I shift my weight, it starts shaking because our floor is not 100% stable because it's up off the ground.
So
That's
our spidey senses have been just like on 10 the last 2 days, and we see the tracker. Last night was the last one that we felt. And I'll tell you this, and here will be the tagline for the podcast. I had a huge crack on my roof, going down the whole side of my roof, like on the inside.
Not the roof, the ceiling.
The stucco, yeah. So the stucco was cracked, and I blame me for going up on the roof and walking around there and getting the swamp cooler fixed and stuff like that. It was a pretty sizable crack. You could have probably stuck a quarter in there, or maybe even 2 quarters stacked and shoved in the
It was
crack.
pretty darn thick.
The earthquake fixed my house.
It pushed the crack back together.
I tried to make a story on Instagram about it, but you couldn't visually see it. But it pushed that dang crack back together. You can just see like a pencil line now of where it was, like almost overlapped the other way. But the earthquake fixed my house.
Thank you to the earthquake.
Yeah.
Can they name earthquakes?
Yes, they name it by where it, like the
Yeah.
big one in '94 was the Northridge quake because that was where it was centered and where the
This
most
one-
damaged one.
What's this one? Trona?
No, it's maybe Trona.
I think they were calling it the
calling
Trona quake.
Oh, what's the place? Seal something. Some town I never heard of was what they were first calling it.
Yeah, that's where it was
Right.
coming out of.
I
So,
was
yeah,
like, because like they name all the big snowstorms now and all that. Stupid
Right, just
stuff,
like
so.
based on location and stuff, right?
Yeah.
No, the snowstorms they like do kind of like what they do with hurricanes, and they
Oh,
have like
okay.
a pattern of names for them.
Like people names.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't name earthquakes after people. We name them after where they happened and like where the most damage
Right.
was. So this will probably be Trona or Ridgecrest.
Yeah, it could be the
Right.
Little Wayne earthquake. Yeah.
Okay.
We should have them sponsored. They should sell like the Pepsi Trona earthquake is brought to you by HP.
Oh my god.
No.
Yeah, so we're doing okay out here. It is not over. We have not felt our last aftershock, earthquake, or whatever. It is not over. So I have 0 preparation kits. I have 0 flashlights other than my phone. I have no clean water. I do have beer. And
Yeah, we have like a stockpile of like cereal and
Right.
honey mustard dip, but
And you go
not so much the water.
yeah, you go through a lot of time like whatever. Like if it goes down, I don't want to be alive. I'm sorry, I don't want to repopulate the
We're
Earth.
close enough to the fault that if a big one, the San Andreas fault, that if a really big,
We're
like,
in
even if a
trouble.
7.1 happens on the San Andreas, we're kind of effed.
We're in super trouble. Like the house is going down.
Yeah.
We're gonna be in trouble. We're gonna have to get in our car and leave where we're at, and it's
Right.
gonna happen. Will it happen in our lifetime? I don't know. The geologists talk about how this is just a blip over a big picture, but we're still due for one. It happens every 150 years, and we're on like year 100 and something of it.
They
or
were
something.
saying in the one news article that I read, they were saying that by 2030, that something's gonna happen.
It's for real. This was 80 miles away, and it was only a 7.2.
7-1.
7.1, and the one that's supposed to happen 15 miles from us.
It's where the Vasquez rocks are. Is the
I'll try to
the
explain
fault
it to
is.
everybody at home. When you're going down the freeway, you'll see the mountainsides cut. Like, they cut the freeway inside the mountain. And you can see the grain of the mountain going towards where you're driving, like that way.
Right.
And then there's one rock where all of a sudden, all the texture is going the other way. And you can see where it meets in the middle. And that's the fault line. And you drive right on that.
You
all the way
guys
down
saw
to
it when you
14.
left here, the Vasquez rocks, where it's all jagged rocks,
Yeah,
like sticking up.
That's the fault line.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right where the San Andreas fault is. So we're definitely gonna feel it when anything happens there. We're gonna feel it.
So when
Even
the
a
earth
4.
opens and I fall in, we'll be doing a podcast from hell.
Right.
Coming to you live from Satan Town.
from the 7
Instagram
circles of hell.
7 circles of hell. So when that happens, we'll be okay, because once it starts shaking, I'm out of whatever building I'm in 20 steps. We're not, like I said, everything's flat on the ground here. Our house we will fall down. Like, everything will fall down.
It'll at least like fall off of its foundation. But look, our house isn't like made of bricks. We're not gonna get knocked out by drywall.
Yeah,
Right.
because
We'll be fine.
those little piggies survived the straw in the wood house, so we'll be okay.
Yeah.
But it is a legitimate concern, and I really do think that we should probably go get. I don't know, but what's a case of water gonna do?
Give you something to
if
drink.
the-
Oh
if
my
you don't
gosh.
have running water.
I got earthquake in my eyes. Quick, wash it out. Get the earthquake out my
No,
eyes.
but really, like if you have a cut and it needs to be rinced out, if you're thirsty,
If
you
the
don't want
house
to just
is
drink
down,
beer and
yeah.
soda, and that's all we have.
But where do we put this earthquake kit? Because I'm getting the frick out of my house.
Because you might not have running water too.
Yeah.
See, so
You don't want to drink toilet tank water.
We should
Right.
prepare. Didn't that guy in the news have a backpack next to his door?
Yeah, you know, on the news they keep saying in Southern California, we all keep backpacks right next to our bed. For those of you not in Southern California, that's not really a thing. Some people definitely after an earthquake start to get nervous and like, oh, I should keep that. We do not all have backpacks next to our bed so we can grab our extra pair of shoes and flashlight on our way out the door. That's not a thing that we should, but we don't.
You know who's going to be alive after all this happens?
The people who do?
The Mormons.
The Mormons?
The Mormons. They have rooms dedicated to fallouts with boxes of canned goods. I won't mention any
Yeah.
names, Cheryl.
Those
With
and all
rooms
the
with boxes of
disaster
What's that?
I said those and all those other disaster
The
preparedness people.
Doomsday Preppers.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
remember watching that
Doomsday
show?
Preppers.
Yes.
Where they have the underground house?
Yeah.
Like that
See,
Cloverfield movie?
If I have to go underground to survive what's happening above ground, aside from like a tornado, I don't know that I want to survive. Like, if it's apocalyptic, I don't want to come out and see what's left.
Well, I mean, I think it's hard because, like, you know, what's exactly? There's nothing left. Look at all those poor people from Katrina where that hurricane hit. Like,
Right.
they literally, the people that made it through had nothing.
Yeah, they're stuck on the roof for like 2 weeks for somebody to come
Yeah.
get them. Like, you want to live like
And
that? Not that I
nothing
want to
didn't-
die in it, but ugh.
Yeah, exactly. Not like they didn't come back. Not like they didn't. I mean, it took forever, but gosh, yeah, that's a hard one. That's a rough one.
Here's what I didn't like. I didn't like the fact that Blake was at his mom's house that weekend, or 2 days ago, and they're out of town, and he chose to stay there. This is after we had a huge earthquake a few hours before, which he didn't feel because he was in the car with his friend Joe, and they were driving, and apparently they didn't feel the earthquake at all.
Yeah, especially a rolling one, you're not going to feel it while you're driving.
Right. The kid has never
Right.
been in an earthquake before, does not seem phased or concerned about these earthquakes, period, which I don't know why he does not have the fear of God in him from these earthquakes. The whole ground shook, bro, and you don't care? Oh, the cat ran away, and he was upstairs in a 2-story house, so he knows it was wobbling. I've been there for the other earthquake when that happened. He knows it's
Right.
wobbling. He didn't care. So we picked him up from a party. We brought him home. We got donuts. We got therapy donuts. We needed therapy donuts. So we got therapy
Right.
donuts at the donut shop, and then we took Blake home to his mom's house, and he did not want to stay with us. I was like, dude, just come stay with us. And he's just like, no, I'm cool. I'm going to go inside with my donut. And I did not like that as a parent. I did not like the fact that he was going to be home alone in a house when it's like sensitive earthquake time.
Yeah, that's a little.
Why did you let that happen?
Because what's really going to happen? It's not on the San Andreas fault. It's just going to be a little bit of rolling. We're not having major damage.
We're probably okay.
We're fine.
We're okay.
You're a hypochondriac.
We're on heightened alert, but I watched the earth wiggle.
Right.
And I know the majority of you listening at home does not know what it's like to have the earth wiggle.
And realistically, if it was that bad and like Blake needed to be rescued, he's a 5-minute drive, maybe 20-minute walk, depending on how fast you go. So we could get to him.
He'd be okay.
So then, as a Californian, I show up the next day. Actually, I was in the shower that night, and that was the thing. I just wanted to wash out my mohawk, and I kept on asking Crystal, like, when can I go shower? Because I was in a shower after the earthquake, and we kept having aftershocks. And when you live here and you watch all the earthquakes and all the earthquake talks, you can feel what's up. You know what's coming next. You know that it's probably not going to drop another bomb right away. Like, it's just going to be some wiggles while it sorts itself out.
The one yesterday, there was the 2 jolts. And I had to go to the bathroom, and I was like, oh, I don't want to be on the toilet peeing when there's an earthquake. And you're like, it's cool. There's never 2 back-to-back.
I said that like seconds before
and I went to the bathroom real quick, and I came back out, and then that second, the rolling one started. Yes. So, yeah, there's no logic to it.
Yeah, but after you live here, you can kind of tell that, like, all right. It got pouty for 2 days in a row. It's done now. So we let him stay there. So the next morning, I get up, or no, I was in the shower going, like, you know what? I need to make a video at the bike shop. I need to make an earthquake video. Can I make an earthquake video? Ridgecrest isn't that far away. People come to my bike shop from Ridgecrest to buy bikes because there's not very many bike shops from here to there. Like Ridgecrest, people that live in Ridgecrest are pretty common, maybe 5% of my people. And I was like, oh, can I do this? So I went to work the next day and I made a sale video that was like an earthquake video.
I saw it.
Yeah, that was great.
I actually showed it to everybody at game night last night because it made me laugh so hard, and everybody laughed.
Was it good?
It was pretty funny.
It was so good. I was trying to figure out how to make it like earthquakey and stuff. So that was probably the most popular video our bike shop's done since we've made anything on Instagram over the last bunches of years. So I was waiting for somebody to get mad. Like, what are you doing? That's insensitive to the person that's in Ridgecrest. But I thought that was pretty silly. So
I think the people who would get mad who actually like suffered damage and their house fell down or burned down probably aren't watching videos on Instagram.
Yeah, their Wi-Fi's down, so yeah. So that's what it's like here at Earthquake Central, and I really, really hope that we get to experience something together when you come out next week. Actually, when you're listening to this, you'll already be here. I'll probably be picking you up from the airport when you guys.
Yeah, actually, by the time this goes up, we'll be there. We'll be there.
Yeah.
So like. I'm excited and nervous all at the same time. Not about the earthquake, about leaving my dogs.
Right. How's Kira gonna handle it? Just gonna have to deal with you because by the time you come back, you'll been gone like a pretty large percent of her life, like 3% of her life. You'll have been gone.
She's gonna get so big.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I've got 2 different dog sitters coming, so I have somebody here during the day, and then Greg's here at night with them, spend the night with them, and it's gonna be interesting. I have a list of. Yeah, I think they'll be fine. She's such an easy puppy. I think she'll be fine. I'm not like super worried about it. She's pretty well behaved. I mean, you guys met her. She's a pretty well behaved dog.
Yeah,
so I'm not super worried about it. But
she fits in well, and you spend about 20% of your VidCon time staring at your dang cameras inside your house. And they're always doing the same thing every time, laying halfway off the pillow with the head on the pillow only.
I have the camera open right now while we podcast. I'm actually staring at my dogs.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, well, I get it. You got to keep the money makers well.
She's there all by herself, and she still learning how not to chew on things. So I have to keep the camera open because if she starts to chew on something, I have to go up there and stop her.
Is that still your most talked about thing? Don't stop. Get it out of your mouth.
Yep.
She ate a lot of stuff. When we were walking around, she was eating a lot of stuff. She was trying to eat bark and a rock. I remember she was trying to eat a rock one time when we took her out, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No, you're not a brontosaurus.
Yeah, she's still trying to eat everything. She'll grow out of it. She's learning leave it a little bit better, but it's still something really. But see, that's my other fear. Like, she's doing all this stuff better now. Now I'm going to be gone for 5 days. Nobody's going to treat her the way we treat her. You know, the girl I have coming during the day is one of the vet techs from our vet's office, so she knows my dogs really well. And I know she'll be fine, but no offense, but Greg's a cat guy.
Yeah, we're not really used to having to like watch the animal to make them not do things.
Exactly.
They just kind of survive on their own, and we feed them.
Yeah.
But wait, hold
And
on.
that-
You have to admit, Crystal, when we hung out with the dogs, it was nice to be able to pet as hard as you wanted. You could grab them and just tickle them and rub on them. You can roll over on the dogs. And if I did that to a cat, it's like, oh my gosh, get off me. It's stiff arming me. It's like, get off.
Still
but it
prefer
was
cats.
so nice to be able to like just have like what you could do what you want with the dog.
Yeah,
and
you know
took
what
it.
wasn't nice? When I rolled over at 6:30 in the morning to a puppy coming right at my face.
Dude, it
Look,
was
I love your
great.
dogs.
It was great.
But if my cat comes up to me and I'm asleep, I can just put my arm out and shove the cat off the bed, and it's game over. Like, they're all, okay, I'll go somewhere else. Dogs, not so
Right.
much. They just, like, want attention.
My favorite part was it was early in the morning, earlier than Crystal gets up because she's a late person. I was laying on one side of the bed, obviously Crystal's on the other, and there's a big gap in between us, and Memphis jumps in between us and does that thing where she hops in and then she puts all 4 of her legs out and just shoved at you, and one went hit you in the face and you didn't move.
I
And I'm
didn't
like,
even feel it.
Oh, I was waiting for bad words, like the bad.
Swearing.
Yep, I was waiting for bad words to come out of your mouth. And then Kira, I think, jumped over you to try to get to me and then stepped on your head. And I think that's when you kind of woke up like,
Yeah,
what's
see,
happening?
You don't have these kinds of issues with cats.
No.
People would pay
not
for that
really.
experience.
I'm not super worried about Greg because he's watched my dog many, many, many times before.
Yeah.
But the problem is like she's a 16-week-old puppy. She's not an adult dog. She's a 16-week-old puppy.
Yeah, you just have to worry about her chewing on stuff. When I first met you and I watched your videos before, because I watched the dog videos before I watched the vlog videos. So remember I told you how I thought you were like a 60-year-old lady because you never saw you just saw it. The first video I watched, you had I think an Xbox and it was camera footage, and one of the dogs was chewing on your games.
Yeah.
Who was
Memphis.
that? Oh, okay. Because she was a puppy and that's what puppies do, or
Yep.
because she still chews on games.
Nope, she was a puppy.
Okay.
And that's what puppies do.
That was one of my first videos, and she ate one of your guys' green boxes. I remember. So you have to watch out for that.
Kidding. Because Greg is sleeping in our spare bedroom, like our bedroom is completely puppy proofed right now. Nothing is where she can reach it. There's nothing in our bedroom that she can get. Everything's completely puppy proofed. Like the closet doors are always closed. The hampers I even keep in the closet because I don't want her to get them. We have a bathroom in our bedroom and that door is closed every night so she can't get in there. So Greg's going to be sleeping in the spare bedroom.
The whole
And
time, like
that-
he has to stay there the whole time.
He spends a night every night. He's gonna pretty much stay at my house for 5 nights. During the day, he'll be gone at work, and that's when Danny will be here watching the dogs. And then, 5:30 or so, Greg will come in. He'll have dinner here. He'll feed the dogs. He'll hang out with the dogs, and he's just gonna spend the night here because they can't be here by themselves overnight. She's a puppy. She's got to go out in the middle of
Right.
the night sometimes. So he's gonna sleep in the spare bedroom. He's like, I'll sleep on the couch. I'm like, dear God, don't. That's the most uncomfortable couch in the world. I'm glad I bought it. I like it for working on, but for sleeping on, no, don't do it. So I told him, I'm like, no, we'll just set up the spare bedroom. Well, you've seen my spare bedroom.
Yeah, it's got a million husky stuffed animals in it.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there. So I've actually had to go in there and turn all the shelves around so that Kira can't reach anything off the shelf. Anything that's lower than 4 feet and under to the ground, I've just picked up and put in a box and took it out of the room. I'm like, I just can't even take this chance that she's going to eat something while we're gone. I mean, she's a puppy.
You want to know why cats are better than dogs? You know what I have to do when we're going to be gone for all those days? I asked my mom if she could just stop by after work, make sure they have food and water, and didn't spill it. That's it.
But we come home to 400 barf piles.
This is true. We do have to cover the couch and the bed with blankets because the cats, especially I think Mooch, gets panicky when I'm not here, and then he barfs.
Yeah, and it's a great game because you never know where it's going to happen. You might flop on the bed late at night when you get back. You might try to walk into the bathroom and hit a slip and slide because we have hardwood floors. You might sit down on the couch after a long day at VidCon and... So
but that's why we cover it with
idea.
blankets, so we don't have to wash our sheets when we get home at night.
Right.
But it's crazy with the cats because it's anything goes. They are definitely the teenager. When we walk in, there's a chance that the Rizzo's throwing a pizza at the ceiling. That that movie where they throw the pizza on the ceiling because the parents come home and they're hoping the pizza doesn't fall off the ceiling so the parents don't see it. That's what happens at our house. So we have no way to monitor them. One time we set up a camera when we went out of town, and all it was sadness when we checked in on them, and they were crying.
Mooch cries. Mooch just walks around the house and cries, and I don't want to watch
that. And
that.
then Crystal thought it was a good idea to turn on the microphone and say, like, hey, Mooch. And then the cat's mind could not process what was happening. Mooch was like, oh my gosh. You could see his brain, like, start smoking because he was trying to figure out the math of, like, why he could hear you out loud, but you're not around.
Yeah. Other than Mooch, though, the cats don't care.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I don't care.
See, and Memphis and Shelby are fine. They would be fine. Like, we could leave for 6 hours or 8 hours, or somebody could literally just come over and let them out every couple hours and feed them. And Memphis and Shelby, if I left the TV on, they would be fine. But it's the puppy, you know, because like even for VidCon last year, I didn't have somebody here during the day. The dogs were here all by themselves during the day, and Greg just came over at night, spent the night here. Like that was all we did last year. But with the puppy, it's a whole new dynamic. And like I was talking to Greg about it last night. I'm like, it's such a different dynamic with the puppy this young.
Right. But like everything else, it will be okay.
Yeah, that'll be fine. I'm not super worried about it. I mean, I've got a lot of work to get done before I get on a plane in less than 3 days.
Ooh, I know, huh? VidCon's going to be so great. We should probably talk. We're almost an hour in, so we should probably talk about VidCon for a second.
VidCon!
We were supposed to talk about how Michigan was the best state ever, but
well, what are you talking about? It is. End of story.
You guys have here's what's polarizing about your state, real quick. You guys have towns that are just destroyed. You guys are the second in murders next to Chicago, or sometimes you guys even overtake Chicago. But I'm so impressed about how many rad things come out of your freaking state. Dragon milk, okra stuff, all these.
Okra? You've never even eaten okra.
Yeah, we did when we were there. Well, we ate a lot of things when we were at your house. The maple syrup, like everything is like made from your Dane state. And I know some stuff from California out here, and I feel like California is better than Michigan. Like, how can we not be better than Michigan? Like, it's Michigan and we're California. Like, sorry that our state's better than yours, but all the rad stuff comes out of your state. Even last night when I was drinking that dragon's milk, you sent me a message. You're like, that came out of Michigan. And I turned the bottle to the back, and there was a freaking picture of your whole state on there, like in 3 inches. Like, you guys really have a lot of cool stuff that comes out of there.
You had to know that was New Holland.
I didn't know what that meant, but I do remember the first time I had it is when I went to your house. That's why when I had seen it on sale, I was like, oh, I got to grab one because it reminds me of that. But I feel like when you and I send stuff to each other, you have way cooler things that come from Michigan than we have from California.
We struggled to find California.
We have like
things.
Imported stuff here.
Yeah.
Like, everything's manufactured and imported. Everything has a made in China sticker on it. So you guys have like really great stuff. So... You know, I guess I just helped you with your case, so I guess Michigan is better.
Told you.
But why the number one state? Why the number one state, though?
I think, like, the article that the company that wrote it, I think a lot of the things that it said, I mean, I don't remember, I read it so long ago now, but a lot of the things that it said was it was talking about how, like, Michigan has more coastline. We literally have more coastline than any other state besides Alaska.
Even us?
Even you.
Yeah,
we
have
are
more lakes. We just have
100% coastline.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, on our ocean side.
Right.
All the way up. So
right, but they have all the lakes and they have all the shape and the
but
things.
it looks small and dirty.
It's not. The lakes here are awesome.
So that makes you guys the number one state, and you guys don't have beach sand. You guys have like gravel.
Oh no, we have beach sand. We have a lot of sandy beaches. It just depends on where you go to the lake. Like, even where we're at, if you go down to the lake here in town, there's a beach in town that's rock, but there's also 2 beaches right in town in Alpena that are all sand. And then you can go out to Bell Bay, and it's all sand. You go a little farther north, and it's all rock.
Did they breathe the sand in, or is it real sand?
No, it's real sand.
It's interesting because a lot of people want to come meet you, and a lot of people want to come to the States. You're their version of what the States are, and they call it the States.
Right.
That's what everybody outside of America calls us, as the States. And they always say the same thing. I want to go to Michigan. And I'm thinking, no, you don't. No, you don't. Do not come to Michigan. Why would you want to go there? You're probably going to get shot, and every other person at the store is going to look at you crazy.
You get two people. People that are like, Michigan is nothing but Detroit and Flint. Those are 2 tiny
dirty
cities
water and crime.
Yeah, that's it. Detroit and Flint. Michigan's bad because, I mean, I could say the same thing about California. LA, downtown, no thanks. Never again. But that's not the whole state.
Right.
You can't represent the entire state of California based on downtown LA being the grossest place ever.
Isn't it crazy how glorified Hollywood, Los Angeles is on television, movies, Hollywood, blah, blah,
That's
blah.
because you can't smell it.
And what you saw
Right.
there was exactly what it is everywhere in Los Angeles, Hollywood area. Everywhere is exactly
Yeah,
like
that
that.
was
Gum, a
disgusting.
million pieces of gum on the ground, disgustingness. It smells like
It smells like pee.
pee. It's
Not like
bad.
more than pee.
but glorified.
Yeah. I mean, honest to God, between downtown LA and New York, where we were, I would go back to New York before I would bring my
Wow.
dogs anywhere close to downtown LA again.
That was so bad. That was
It
really
was.
bad. Even
Yeah.
for some of us that just live here, I still
Like,
dread going down there.
Yeah, I don't want to go
I'd
to
come back
downtown
to
LA.
California. I saw amazing things in California. We had a lot of fun in California. I'm not going to
Northern
look at one
California.
city. Yeah, I mean, it was even driving to Northern California was pretty.
Oh yeah, yeah. Once you get out of town, you're okay.
Yeah, it was a lot, and I'm not going to let that knock the state. And that's kind of the thing. Like, some people think of Michigan, and that is what they think. They think of the Motor City, and they think of Flint. You can't drink the water in Flint. Yeah, but, well,
Yeah,
you
thanks,
know,
Michael Moore.
that's what their governments did to them. They destroyed those cities. Their city governments destroyed those cities. I mean, that's what happened. But when you look outside of that and everything else that's here, like, there's a lot here. There's a lot to see and do in Michigan.
Is
Plus, if you
Michigan
go
better
up
than
to
California? That's the thing. Is Michigan? Who's right? Who's the winner? You or me?
Michigan.
Not you.
You have never even been to the Redwoods. How do you even know?
But we know they're there, see? So the point is we have beaches, we have like Mammoth and Big Bear, and you can go snowboarding and skiing.
Which we
and
never
we have
do.
the Redwoods, and we have other things that we haven't seen.
That made Jess so mad. She's like, there's a picture of Jamie standing inside that big tree and stuff like that, and she's like, "You've never seen or been there." What did you ask me? You asked me like where Mount St. Helens was or something like that. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know where. Well, Mount St. Helens in Washington, not California. But I mean, same thing. We've got beaches. You can go snowboarding. You can go skiing. You can go wakeboarding. We have so many all sports freshwater lakes here. It's unreal. Like, there is so much to do here that's not Detroit and Flint. We have a mountain. We have the Porcupine Mountain State Park. We have over 199 waterfalls in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan alone. Like,
That's crazy.
and that's the other thing. Like, there's the Lower Peninsula of Michigan, but if you really want to be in the middle of nowhere, legit the middle of nowhere, the vast middle of nowhere, you just cross the Mackinac Bridge, drive for a few miles, and there's no cities, there's no nothing. It's trees and lakes, and there's moose up there, there's wolves up there. Michigan does have a lot of stuff to
And
do.
that's where Jason goes. That's where Crystal, your brother Jason, that's where Jason goes all the
Yeah,
time.
he
He's
goes to
always going
Mackinac.
up there. And all the pictures, everything's so pretty.
Yes.
And green.
in green. We have a lot of green.
We
Green
tried
and
to
blue.
make it. We made it to the bridge. But remember how snowy it was in Gaylord, so we couldn't cross the bridge? It was out of control.
Yeah. When you guys need to come, and that's the thing. I think you guys need to come out here in like the fall.
Like during
I think you
October,
would-
you just want people to help you carve pumpkins. That's what it is. You just want pumpkin
Normally
carving
by
people.
October, all the colors are gone. So if you want to see the colors, you got to come a little bit before that.
Right. Yeah, you know
But
what?
that-
Okay, I will concede. My final answer is that Michigan right now, because I cannot defend what happened to us at PetCon. Like, I can't defend that, and I feel we had a better. I felt we had a better surrounding time when I was at your place than you were at my place. So right now, I will say that Michigan is better.
Everybody can leave us comments on their opinions.
Yeah, we're gonna start a riot with that. So VidCon, let's talk about VidCon real quick because we're almost on an hour on this here, and I know all you at home are like, please keep going. So you know what? Let's just keep rolling. We can do more than an hour on YouTube now, right?
Yeah.
Oh, rock and roll. So VidCon, right now when we're recording this, it is Sunday. It is almost noon my time, which is like 3 your time because you live in the future.
Yep.
But by the time you guys listen to this, we will be at VidCon in Anaheim, VidCon 10. And we've sworn, like, for the last 2 years, we were not going to any more VidCons. But yet, here we are.
How could we miss 10 though?
We can't miss 10. There's too many people coming. Andy's coming. Oh my gosh, Andy's coming.
And this is actually in November, it'll be the 10th year of me making videos. So I couldn't miss it.
Yay, that'll be good. So, yeah, so we can't miss it. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to post a lot of Instagram stories. Follow us at RFS Dan, Gone to the Snow Dogs, CC Mouse Podcast on Instagram. That's where you'll get to see us do the most live stuff, because I will do a lot of stories. I'm very good at the stories.
Yeah, it'll be fun to... I'm excited to go. I'm excited to be out there. I'm excited to see everybody. I mean, I feel like I just saw you guys 2 weeks ago, but...
Yes. Yeah, anybody that's going to be at VidCon, we're going to, we'll tweet out or we'll message out when we're on the floor. We're not going to do a meetup, but we'll make it so you guys, if you guys see us, come stop us. It doesn't matter what we're doing.
Yeah.
Come say hi, come stop us. That's not a problem. That's what we're there for.
Yeah, don't be afraid. We're not scary.
We're not scary, yeah.
We won't bite.
Yeah, so that's going to be super fun. Who are we going to go see? We're going to see David Dobrik. We're going to see Tana Montana. I thought she was so old. I just saw that she had her 21st birthday like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Wow, I thought she was like 27.
Kneeler for reeler.
Oh, yes, we have to go see her on the Almost Famous panel, right?
Kneeler the Husky.
You know what? That's really cool about it. Like, that's where we saw it. That's where I learned who Cassidy Quinn was. Every year we have somebody else that we champion on the Almost Famous panel. It's going to be great. That's going to be a lot of fun to go to. We'll yell and scream and embarrass her.
Heck yeah.
Yes, and then we'll eat some food truck food, and we'll have fun.
Cake pops again. If we can't find cake pops, we got to go to Starbucks to get
Yeah,
some.
hopefully the cake pops will be there. Here's what I'm looking for the most, guys. Have an industry pass. Thanks, Jess.
Yeah.
And up at the industry level, they have free food.
Yep.
Free food, guys. If a sandwich was a 5, if it was free, it's a 7. So the food automatically kicks up a couple notches. So I can't wait to take that escalator up where I flash my badge, like in Wayne's World. Like, look at me. And I go up there and I get a brown box that's going to have like an apple that's like part red and part green. It'll have a sandwich that has no liquid in it. It'll just be meat and a lettuce and cheese. And then I'll get a packet of mayonnaise and a packet of mustard. And then it will be not enough. But I cannot wait. Oh, I cannot wait. What are you excited about?
I'm excited to see everybody again. Like, I'm excited to go hang out and talk with people that do what we do. Like, I like talking. There's just not a whole lot of people that I know where I live that are interested in talking about that stuff. And since Matt decided to go move partially to California on Gate Night, I'm always like, oh, I want to talk about all the updates and things, but there's nobody here that cares.
The things we do for love. It'll be great. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna go to a lot of panels. We're gonna walk around the floor. Maybe your poster will be there at the DTFBA booth again. That was kind of cool last year.
They said they're bringing the stuff. They might have the pins too.
Oh, that'll be awesome. If they have the pins there, I will personally buy a pack of pins.
All right.
But I will say this, and maybe at home you guys are wondering. So we have an Airbnb, and at that Airbnb we will be having a Nintendo Switch. There's a swimming pool there, so I'm going to be in the swimming pool the whole time. We're going to have a Switch, so we're going to have a lot of Mario Kart offs. So, if you guys play Mario Kart, message me your username, and you guys can get in on some of this Mario Kart action we're going to have. And, yes, people, we will be dragging down the vlogging equipment to do our first ever live CC Mouse podcast.
The podcasting equipment.
What did I say?
The vlogging equipment.
Oh, yeah. We'll be podcasting at VidCon. That'll be good. People have been asking... Yeah. We kind of got a little bit of flack for not doing one at PetCon, but there was no time to do that.
There was no time.
We needed our time to hang out, not podcast time.
Yeah, that would have been impossible.
Yeah. So we'll do one there. That'll be great. Jamie will be there. Crystal will be there. Whoever else is staying with us will be there. It'll be fun.
It will. I'm excited.
Part of your mind says that there could be an earthquake. That's what I think you're thinking.
It is what it is. If it happens, that's okay. I just want to make sure my plane gets there.
I will not hold you responsible for anything that you do during earthquake time. That's one of those things. It's like whatever happens in earthquake stays in earthquake. So, when that plane fell out of the sky on the way back from Chicago, I grabbed the girls next to me's hand. We were holding hands. Like, that's how we're going out. And so I get it. So
that's why Dan makes this rule, just because he doesn't want anybody to talk about what he does during earthquakes or planes falling out of skies.
It's a little high. It's a little pitchy. The screaming's a little pitchy. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. Then I start confessing things. Because I think it's the end. So that'll do it for this week's episode of the CC Mouse Podcast. Welcome, Crystal. Yay! First time that you were on the podcast.
I did a thing.
You did it. No, you're too early on that. You have to wait till the end to do that. So check us out on Podbean at CC Mouse Podcast. Go to our Instagram or our Facebook page at CC Mouse Podcast. Check out our YouTube page, which seems to be picking up momentum by the day. So go to youtube.com/CC Mouse Podcast. Go to our shop at ccmousepodcast.shop. and I'm out of links to send you. So we'll be reporting back next week live from VidCon. So until then, we'll see you guys later. Same mouse time, same mouse podcast. Bye.
Bye. Now we
did a
did a
thing?
thing.
Yeah, there you go. Do it. Do it now.
I did a thing.
Yes. Ah.